Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 10 of the Confident Carnivore podcast. I'm so excited about today's guest. She hails all the way from Germany, from Bavaria, actually. Welcome, Laura. Hi there.
Hello. Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for being with us, even though it's nighttime for you and daytime for us. So great to see you. I actually have encountered Laura through the Carniverse. Basically, I saw her success story on the Meet RX podcast, and then I also have met her through the Steak and Butter Gal platform. So I kept seeing her pictures and I watched her success story, and it was just so amazing and incredible, her journey to health and healing. And so I'm excited to have her here to share with us. So before we dive in, I'm just going to share a couple photos of Laura. So see if we can get them here. So let's actually go back. I think there are a couple more. So Laura, do you want to say a few words about any of these before we really go into your story?
Yes. So on this photo, you can see on the left side, this was my before pic before I start the carnivore diet. So I was paleo based, more like an moderate carb diet, but I felt very awful this time. So I had strong health issues, and I don't feel confident in myself. It was all this bodybuilding stuff. I want to build muscle, but I don't feel myself, and I feel very uncomfortable in myself. And I want to change something, but it was always hard to figure out what's the main problem. But at this point, I felt unconscious, and I was a total and another person. So I don't feel like myself. And on the right, it's my current shape. So I'm carnivore now for 10 months, 11 months
Wow.
now. I started last year in May, and I feel awesome. So I feel totally like myself. I'm confident. That's the shape I feel the most comfortable with, and I'm so happy that I had the opportunity to make this drastic change in my health and in my exercise routine. But I'm really happy to found this.
Amazing. Just 1 year there. I mean, that's quite the transformation. So we're gonna have to hear more about how that
Yeah.
happened. And then here, I know that your video on MeterX has had a lot of views because people are going, wow. So when was this one taken? Is this recent?
Yeah, this was in summer last year. So I dropped a lot of weight in the first beginning of my carnivore journey, but I guess it was a lot of water weight because of the carbs I reduced drastically. And I have to say that I go from paleo to keto for just a short period of time, but then I cut off all carbs, all nuts, all seeds, and go all into this carnivore diet. And this was my summer picture, and I was really happy with the results, not only for the look, but also for my health I gained back.
Wow. I mean, this is really impressive.
Thank you.
It's like an eight pack there. So, and this is a really cool picture. What is this one in particular?
Yeah, this was a little photo shooting I took also in autumn the last year, because I felt so good by myself. I was happy, and I think you can see it in my face. I was confident, and I want to hold this shape with a photo shooting, and that was a great experience. Yeah,
That's a really beautiful picture too. So,
thank you.
and then this was your after, right? So you said this was like February, right?
Yeah,
Or, okay.
right.
Uh, I really like this. Yeah,
So
you're
this is
so
my
lean. Look at your legs. You're so, how tall are you?
Hmm?
Oh, how tall are
um,
you? But I guess you would know in not in maybe in
n- n- uh,
metric.
5'7",
Oh,
I
okay.
guess. Yeah, 169 centimeters, but I guess it's 5'7". Yeah.
Wow, so you're pretty tall.
Yeah. But this is my running outfit. So I used to incorporate more endurance training since my asthma went better. So I talk about it in my MeetRx podcast that the main problem was my strong asthma I suffered from since I am a kid,
Uh,
and I couldn't run for 10 minutes straight without any problems. And last year my health issue was at a really, really strong and weakest point, and I couldn't breathe deeply. I wake up in the morning and I had so much pain in my lungs, and I want to change something. And I know that the changing the diet could also lead to change the health, and that keeps me going to research a lot, to read a lot about the carnivore diet and to change my strong asthma symptoms. Yeah.
wow. And how old are you, Laura?
I'm 24 now.
Wow, so you're very young. So you were having these asthma symptoms then from childhood or
Yes. Yeah. The first diagnosed was in when I was 9 years old. So I couldn't do any sport in school, but I was always the athletic kid who loves to run, who loves to play, and I want to do sport. Even I couldn't do it because of my lungs, and it was always hard to suffer from it because I have to take asthma pills, asthma inhalers, and the whole time I was very um, yeah, I suffered very strong from this because I love sport, I love doing sport, and when you can't breathe deeply, it's a strong problem. Yeah.
wow, so you were on that medication from a young age then.
Yeah.
And what did your were your parents, I mean, did they ever consider diet or I mean, what were you eating?
No. So I was raised with the typical German diet, consists of 90% carbohydrates. So you eat for breakfast bread with honey on it, or bread with chocolate spread, or some kind
Nutella?
of yeah, Nutella.
Oh boy.
So, but then for lunch always noodles or pasta or kind of rice with yeah, fatty sauces, not really healthy. And for dinner always bread with curd meats or something like that. Yeah. So the majority of my diet was 90% carbohydrates,
Well,
sugar, and I think that my symptoms definitely suffered from this with this whole inflammatory foods in my past. Yeah.
wow, and so were you struggling with your weight at all or it was just the asthma and you had some digestive problems as well, right?
Yes, yes. So I was always the more athletic person, I guess, because I do a lot of sport and I was always outside and playing in the nature. But my health was always suffering from this strong daily headaches, from asthma, from allergies. I have hard seasonal allergies, especially in spring and summer. And as a child, it was always awful that I have a stiffy nose and red eyes and couldn't see clear the whole time. And yeah, so the first time I realized it for myself that a diet plays a big role was when I went from school to university, because then I get in contact with this whole fitness and bodybuilding thing. And that was the first time I read more about the diet and the health conditions. Yeah.
Hmm. So what did you try once you started to read about the and know that it had an impact on what
Yeah.
did you try first?
Yeah. So it was the typical fitness diet: low fat, high protein, and carbs around training. So that was my basic diet, but I used a lot of these fitness foods, these protein bars, and this whole processed whey protein powders and stuff like that. And I always make sure that I kept my fat intake to a really, really minimum. And I realized that my hormones went totally bad. I lost my period because of that, because I only ate 30 grams of fat per day. It's nothing. And I make sure to only eat protein and some carbs during my workout. So that was the first time when I start this whole fitness and bodybuilding journey, but that was also low fat and high protein.
So
Yeah.
how old were you at this point when you lost your period then and you're doing the fitness
Yeah.
bodybuilding?
20 years old. Yeah.
Wow. So you lost
19.
your period at 20 or 19, 20 years old?
Yes. Yeah.
And
It's
didn't
what,
that alarm you? Did you think, "Oh, something's wrong here," or
no, not at that point. So I think it was because I dropped a lot of weight at this time, a lot of body fat, but I don't thought so much about it because I always got my hormones to check at my doctor, and all hormones were at totally normal ranges. So it was no problem with my hormones, and I guess it was just because I dropped that much weight and that my body don't get this fat what is needed for our normal hormones, especially for women.
Yeah, we need more fat even, and
Yes,
wow, so how long did you not have your period for then?
3 years.
3 years?
Yes,
So you continued with the bodybuilding and just kept eating that way,
yes,
not thinking there was anything really wrong. Probably because you're probably looking, I mean, you looked like you were super strong in your
yes,
before picture. So, but how are you feeling at that time? You're still having allergies and
yes. So
all of the same.
I guess that my health issues went worse from time to time. Also over these 3 years, I felt more exhausted. I felt awful. I had really, really strong headaches all the time. And so at the end of the year 2019 and at the beginning of 2020, so my health was really at the worst point. So I felt totally like crap. um, I couldn't do that sport I do before because I was totally exhausted, and that was the point I realized that I definitely have to change something.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so what did you do? Do you start exploring more?
Yeah.
So you knew it was diet then somehow, right? You could,
Yes.
yeah.
So I used the last 4 years to read a lot about diets and a lot about nutrition. So that was my main focus um, to try new things, what could be beneficial for my health. So I tried different diets, except the vegan diet. That's what I not tried, but the all diets I tried for myself to realize what works for me, what's not. So I had a journal. I wrote all down, all my meal plans, my feeling with the meals, and I have a really big documentation about this 4 years with trying different diets.
Wow.
And yeah, I read a lot of books and research a lot with studies. And at the end, in 2020, that leads me to the ketogenic diet, so that I yeah, found out that fat is really essential for human health. And that dig me deeper into the carnivore diet after all the things I've read, after all the books I read, and that was the best thing I can explore, the best thing that happens to me, because I have that much knowledge about the different diets and how they affect my body.
Wow, because you had already thoroughly documented your
Yes.
trial.
All. Yes.
So then by the time you found you went to ketogenic and then to carnivore, you actually believed that this was the right choice to try because you'd already tried. Like it
Yes.
sounds like you're very methodical about trying and
Yes.
eliminating things.
Yes.
Wow.
So that was the progress. I always make sure that I eliminate certain kind of food for a period of time, and then see how my health was and how I feel myself. And I tried different diets, and it was nothing was really the best for me, because I always suffered from these asthma symptoms and the health issues. And I guess if you try that much things over a very long time, you know how your body feel the best. And after I realized that I cutting out nuts and seeds, cutting out grains, cutting out sugar, cutting out carbohydrates, I feel more and more better with this ketogenic diet. But it was not the optimum. So I have to eliminate more to realize, okay, what's really feel the best for me. And after I done this over the past 11 months, I said to myself, okay, I go all in. I try this carnivore diet for 30 days in May 2020 and see how it goes. Because my health was so bad that it couldn't be more worse than at this point. And then I realized, okay, I have to do this because I read so much positive about it. And yeah, that was the beginning of something great.
Wow. So when you started it, then you eliminated everything. You went 100% carnivore. How did your initial period go? How did you feel? I mean, did
Yeah.
it take weeks? Did it take months? Did it take a few days? How was that for you?
So I have to mention that I'm a person, I do really good with low carb and no carb. So even as in my past, I don't have any issues with feeling fatigue or feeling exhausted with cutting out carbs. I always feel good with low carb, no carb. So that was a good point for me, because I don't feel that much difference in energy. So I remember the first day of carnivore, and I took my journal and I write down, I feel amazing.
Wow.
And then, and it was the first time I don't have any gut issues. I feel amazing after eating. And the first time I start with 3 meals a day, because I come in also from this 5 meal bodybuilding style, 5 meals, 6 meals a day, and I cut it to 3. And I haven't any issues after eating. And that was for me so mind-blowing. I couldn't
Wow.
I
So
couldn't
first
believe it.
day one, you already felt
Yes.
amazing.
So, and then I was always motivated to continue this whole. And I realized that from time to time I feel better, and my health is getting more better from day to day. My head was clear, and I couldn't believe that it was only because I cut out these seeds and plants and all this vegetable stuff. But I think that I realized really, really quickly that this diet would work for me, and that I would continue it after this 30-day experiment. Yeah.
Wow. I have the chills. So you felt you obviously took to it like a fish to water, right? You just were like, this is your proper fuel. You knew right away then.
Yes.
And then, so this stuff, just kind of your allergies, your headaches, your asthma, digestive problems, that all just went away very quickly then? Or how long did
It,
it take?
yes. It just take a little time. I think about 1 to 2 months from the beginning, I felt the first real improvement. So my gut issues and all these problems with my digestive system, I felt really quickly. So because I make sure that I make a slow transition from um, adding up my fats. So I have to say that I read a lot about the carnivore diet, so that I have a good basis to start, and I go up really, really slowly with my fats, that I don't mess up my digestive
Wow.
system. So, but that was the point why I really make this huge improvements in the first time, because I give my body the time to heal, but slowly. And my asthma went really, really good in the first 2 months. So after my 2 month mark of carnivore, I don't have any issues with my asthma. I am I am off from all my medications,
Wow.
from my inhalers after 2 months. And that was the biggest thing, that I could breathe deeply. And I remember that I was so happy that I wake up in the morning and can inhale and don't have this pain in my lungs. Yeah.
And that was probably the first time that you could remember, right? Because your whole life
Yes.
you've had to struggle with that, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
And
that's a
then
miracle.
yes. And after all, after every month of continuing, my health is getting better and better. So it's improved really slowly, but the health issues gone away. And I think for people who start the carnivore diet, they have to commit it to this not only for 30 days or 90 days. So they have to go for longer to make these improvements and to realize what it's really, really about. It's not a short time weight loss diet. It's more about gaining that health back and slowly giving the body the nutrients what it's really need.
Oh my goodness, that's just incredible. I mean, I think I agree with you also because I think the younger you are, even in your case, it was still gradual, right? But I
Yes,
think the older we get, it gets harder, right? In terms of you might need to give it more time to get healing because you've probably damaged your body more as the
yes.
decades go by, right? So, so how about your hormones? What happened with, did you get your period back and all of that?
Yeah. What I want to say with
Oh,
this point, yeah,
sorry.
because that's a good thing. You can't fix something in a short period of time when you live for 30 years with that dramatic health issues and that drastic bad diet. And that's the most important, to give your body time to heal. And that's why I love the carnivore diet, because you always make the improvements over the time, but you realize it very quickly, that your health improves more and more. And that's the great thing to see, that you have these improvements, even if they are small success, but over the time it will sum up and you feel better and better. So stick
Yeah.
to it and make it a lifestyle.
Well, I love that. I love that guidance that you're giving because I also love the way you were so thorough in your documentation about because I think people forget. It's easy to forget and to not notice the small improvements and if you track very carefully, you actually can tell what things cause inflammation, what things dampen your mood. Even in the carnivore world, certain foods, and I know I've seen your focus, where you ended up in terms of I love seeing the picture of your freezer and your meals. So I kind of know like that you found your way to the foods that work best for you. But
Yeah.
even there, it's like if you don't track it and you're not conscious about it, then you're not going to know what's working best for your healing, right? So
Yes. So it's really important to write down how you feel, what you eat. Especially, you don't have to track or measure anything, but the most important thing is that you can go back to your whole journey and see how you feel at this point with this food, so that you see, okay, I feel great with it, but when I start to adding this, don't feel great as I feel without. So that's really important. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, according to my hormones. So I got my blood work done and all my levels are in the normal range, but I'm definitely on the way to get it regularly back. So it's
Mhm.
not that optimal. So I think my body just heal now and takes some time to heal again in the next month. But I'm very confident about, and I'm very convinced that it gets to a normal range and that it's come regularly back in the next month.
Yeah, I really also like your attitude because it is gradual and it can be slow. The attitude of trusting the process, trusting your
Yeah,
body, and having a positive outlook that you might not have the exact result you want yet, but that you believe, like your attitude is, I believe, I trust my body, I trust the fuel I'm giving it, and that it is going through that healing process.
yes,
So
and that's a really important thing for me, because most people want this fast success. They try a diet for 2 months and then, or for 2 weeks, and they hope to fix all their health problems. But that's not the way. You have to listen to your body carefully, and it will guide you to the way it want to be. And that's so important, that you be committed and that you trust the progress and stick to it, even if it's hard sometimes, and some days, not all days are good, but you can put all the good things out it and be committed and stick to this beautiful way of eating, and it will definitely pays off.
yeah, and I love passion for, I can always tell when you post on Steak and Butter Gal that you just, that there's a reverence and a love for the way of eating, for the food. And what about your, so you've been doing this strength training for all 4 years, right? 4 more years. So
Yeah,
how has this changed your training, your strength, your performance, your
yeah,
confidence, all of that?
yeah. So I have to say that this whole bodybuilding thing changed my confidence in a more negative way. When
Mm.
I compete and after it, I have mental struggles with gaining weight, and I do always this muscle building progress where I really eat in a surplus to put this more muscle mass on, but I totally feel uncomfortable with myself, and I lost some some real self from me. So I have to say that this time was really hard, because I think that this bodybuilding was a grateful and a really, really cool experience to see how far I can go. But on the other side, I realized that I lost myself, and that I only focus on building more muscle and pushing harder and doing more. But it's not that way we used to be, to train 7, 8 times per week and doing lots of cardio in addition to that. So when I have this strong and bad health symptoms, I realized, okay, I have to slow down. I have to calm down and reduce my training intake. And then Corona came, COVID-19, and the lockdown, and I couldn't all do my stuff at home. So the first time it was only home workouts for me, and
Mm.
was a total new experience. But I kind of find more myself, because I love this functional stuff and I love to incorporate this fast movements. But at this time I weighed 77 kilogram. I don't know it in pounds, but I was really strong and I was really unathletic. So I couldn't do this functional stuff because I was so heavy. And then I got into my training routine. I do more of the functional stuff and this body weight movements. And I realized that it makes me a lot of fun, that I could do new things. And then I realized that it is really, really cool. I do also some high intensity workouts, because I'm a personal trainer and I do online YouTube live streams.
Oh,
So I, yeah,
we'll have to
I,
link to your, can you do it international? Can we link to
yes,
your, oh,
yes,
great. Very
but it's in German.
cool.
Maybe I can do it sometimes in English.
Oh, okay.
And then I lost a lot of weight. So I lost around 48 pounds, 48 pounds.
Um,
Yeah. But my muscle mass was always at the same range. So I lost a lot of fat, because of this muscle building fat phase where I eat in a surplus, and then I dropped my calories naturally because of the 3 meals, and I lost a lot of weight. But I feel so good. I feel so athletic and fast, and I can do these movements even better. And then I incorporate more of the strength training from before with dumbbells and barbells and all this stuff again. And I realized that my performance didn't increase. So I have a steady performance and my energy levels are really, really good. And the carnivore diet leads me definitely to increase, even increase my weight training. So I normally do a mixture of high intensity stuff, of functional training and my weight training. Yeah.
Wow. And you've mentioned a couple times that you just feel better in your body. And
Yeah.
can you say a little bit more about just, like I think that is something that your physicality changes, right? The way your body, at least in my case, I mean, I was never strong. I never did any weight training or anything, but I feel like I just feel better in my body. I feel more solid, but also more something about being more nimble. I mean, you kind of touched on it when you were saying that you can do all these movements and you're doing hit. And I mean, is it something about what do you think it is? What do you think it is that makes you feel better in your body?
Yeah. I think a really important point is that you have to look at 2 points of it, the mental aspect and the physical aspect. So, yeah, I lost a lot of weight and I feel better because I don't carry that much weight in my training and in my workout routines. But on the other side, I feel totally okay with how I look and I feel fine the way I can make this workouts. And I guess it's a combination of both because the carnivore diet leads to mental improvements and to physical improvements. And uh, the best part of it is that my mental issues and my health issues are completely gone. So I can do the things without any problems. I can do my high intensity workout class without any problems, and I feel so good because I can do the things I couldn't do before. And that is the point. So even in my bodybuilding time, I always felt that I couldn't breathe deeply and I was really fatigued and it takes a long time to recover. But now I can make a workout class in the morning and a workout class in the evening, and it doesn't took any negative effect on my energy. So the energy improvements are phenomenal, and I love that I am active now and I'm fit and healthy and strong, and I feel that all my body composition totally changed. So I was before really really big and my muscles were like blown,
Mm,
but now they are really really athletic and I don't feel any muscle decreasement. So I think I couldn't improve my muscle mass because it's really on the same level, but I feel more mobility and more flexible and with a overall well-being.
wow, that is amazing. And I'm sure, so what about people in your family, your friends? I mean, they must have seen changes in you. They know your asthma is basically gone now. I mean, what did they say about what you're doing?
It's not healthy to eat only meat.
Even with how well you're doing?
Yes, yes. So it's really, really sad because I always have this whole foundation with studies and could talk about nutrition for hours, but they are really, yeah, not open-minded and they see my improvements and they are really happy for this. but they couldn't believe that only eating meat is beneficial for health, and they are all also very skeptical about this whole carnivore thing. I guess it's because it's not normal here in Germany. Um, my friends and my whole family don't eat that way. They eat this German typical diet of 90% carbohydrates, and they say you need carbohydrates to survive. And
Wow.
I guess they are more in this range of sticking to what they know and don't be open to try something new, even if it's beneficial for health. But I'm always a person, I do what's best for me, and even if all around against me, I do it.
Wow, good for you. And I mean, your results are undeniable. So even if they're skeptical, they can't look at you and say that, that you look like you're in poor health. So,
Yeah.
and then, so Germany, there just aren't very many carnivores in general. I mean, I don't feel like there are that many anywhere,
Yeah. Okay.
but is it more, you think that they're more opposed to it just because the traditional diet is so carb heavy?
Yes, I guess because our nutrition guidelines are this 90% carbohydrates, then you eat fruit or vegetables, and then at the top of the pyramid, there is animal fat. So the worst thing you can do, in my opinion. Um, but I guess more German people are really focused on sticking to what they know and eating what called healthy whole grains and lots of fiber and green smoothies, kind of that stuff. And they, I guess, in America or all in other countries, the people are more open-minded to try something new. So
Wow.
yeah, it's really sad, but you
And
can't change it.
in general, what is the German population? I mean, I'm assuming there's fast food and everything over there. So do people have a lot of like metabolic issues in general?
Yes,
Or yes? Okay.
yes. So I read a study according to my university stuff last year, and I read that 15% of the children in a age from 7 to 15 are totally overweight. Yeah,
50? Like 50?
15,
Oh,
15,
15.
15. But it's also like
Oh,
amazing, awful
just like
that,
little kids then. So you're
yes,
still very
that
young.
little kids, yeah.
And they're
And
already
you,
overweight. Oh,
yes, and when you go to a town and there are many people, you always see overweight people, and diabetes is a really, really strong health issue here. So I guess um, the most of the people here have diabetes or heart heart failures according to this, and um, yeah, I guess health issues are a really hard problem here. Yeah.
wow. So I mean, obviously you're very passionate about this. So what are your career goals in terms of, I mean, are you going to be are you going to be doing health coaching, do you think? Or like, are you going to try to spread the word on carnivore? Or are you just going to kind of keep it as your own thing that you share more with just people who you interact with?
Yeah, so my main goal is to spread the world of carnivore to all people here. So I did in my whole career of a personal trainer, I always give nutrition coaching. So I use the ketogenic diet and a part of the carnivore diet to heal symptoms. So I have a lot of patients um, who were healed from diabetes and kind of that stuff. And I hope that I can continue this in the future, that I can help more people with this way of eating, to remove all this sugar, this vegetable oils, and all this processed stuff from their diet. And I always want um, to rethink that the German population are more open-minded to this whole thing of the carnivore diet, so that everyone should consider to try it. And I want to spread the word here in Germany, but also on my Instagram, that I can share my journey and the benefits that come from. Yeah.
Wow. And I know, I mean, your story is obviously very impressive because I know that, a lot of people, I mean, if I even mention your name and that you're in Germany, everybody knows who I'm talking about, right? Because your pictures, they remember, right? I mean, it's like you're a vivid example of what's possible. And so you've actually worked with patients and they've reversed their diabetes, like people you've
Yes.
worked with directly.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was a huge success for me to see that this diet helps so many people. And it's so sad that the most people don't read about it or don't consider to try it, because it's so powerful. It's so powerful for healing, not even for fat loss, but for healing these strong health issues. And that what I want to share, that what I want to represent, that it's so beneficial for our human health, and that's definitely the way for optimal human health.
Wow. Just brilliant. Oh wow. Well, thank you, Laura. This has been so amazing. And we're definitely going to we'll include your Instagram and then any other way. I mean, I guess your channel is in German, so that might not be, we can still include it. And people who, if they find this video in Germany, or like me, who took 4 years of German, maybe I can use it to try to brush up on my
Yeah, that's a good point.
German.
But I thought about of doing a YouTube channel too. So
Well, your English
Bella,
is great. So I strongly encourage you because I mean, not only are you a picture of health, you've experienced your own healing journey. You're only 24 years old and you have all of the science and the studying behind you, right? A lot of us are just, we just want to share stories, but it's like you actually you have all of that knowledge and you've done, the weight training side of it, which is really interesting to people. And so I definitely think you should if you have time.
Bella always said it to me that I have to do it.
Bella,
Yeah,
you absolutely should.
yeah,
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, we see hundreds of stories, but you really stand out as, you could definitely be a strong leader, in the global carnivore community. I mean, why not? It's so easy. You just turn on your video, you
yeah.
start recording, and you can different topics. So I'd be happy to support you in any way to get that going because you're just very, you're very intelligent, articulate, and compelling, just the way you explain it. And you have all of the solid science of the nutrition and the fitness. I think it's really
Yeah.
helpful for people to have, how those two things intersect. So for you, what would you say, what percentage of health is diet versus exercise and fitness?
More than 70%.
Okay.
So diet is really, really the biggest part of it. So I know a lot of people who don't exercise, but they change their diet and the health they gain back is amazing. So, but for me, it's always important to mention that exercise is definitely necessary for human health. Even the movement, the walks outside, the whole move your body is so beneficial for human health, and it's so necessary that more of the people try to include more movement in their daily life, because the average person only takes 3,000 steps per day,
Mm,
and it's really, really bad for our joints, for our whole body, that we move that less. So I want to spread the word that movement is so important for human health. And you don't have to go to workout or weight training 7 times a week, but you have to find the balance between resistance training and the endurance training to make this for optimal fit and strong body.
mm. So when you say endurance, you do mean building cardiovascular health then. So that
Yes.
does that include like higher intensity like running, or could it like sustained cardio, or are you thinking more like hit type stuff? Does it have to be
You
like
can,
long?
yeah, it totally depends on what your goals are, and especially what, yeah, your age, your health, your health, your whole health. So I guess for most of the people, the moderate endurance workouts are totally fine to move your body, to go for walks, to um, light jogging, moderate jogging, or maybe auch moderate
Mhm.
bicycle workouts. But if your goal is to get shredded and to get more in this low body fat percentage, you definitely should consider this whole high intensity stuff. And that's very beneficial for getting this last body fat dropped.
Mm, okay. Now,
Yeah.
if somebody does want to work with you, do you have a website where people can book you for coaching or anything? Or no?
Not yet, no. So I do this in my gym I work with. So most of the people, they know me, and it is in our gym to make it. But I think about to make this more as an online platform to, yeah, to offer different programs, and especially for fat loss and especially for building muscle. Yeah, because that's what I realized that I could really talk about hours about
Ah,
fat loss and muscle building. So it's definitely possible um, to build muscle and to drop that body fat. Yeah.
well, we definitely support you, and whenever you do get that, I mean, we're going to post your information that you have right now into the show notes, and then we'll also post it on our website. So once you do have, those sites live, then we can post them here. So then people, I mean, with Zoom, really, you can meet with people anywhere, right? And
Yeah,
you
that's
speak
amazing.
excellent English. I can't believe you know all the terms in English. I don't even know the terms in English. It's really impressive. It's obviously
Thank you.
of a sharp mind plus carnivore on top of it. So, oh, we didn't actually touch on what you eat, because I'm
Yeah,
curious to know how you found your way to what your ideal
yes.
staples are.
So the first time I started carnivore, I eating a lot of chicken, pork, beef, so and eggs, and that was the first 1 or 2 months. I tried different meat sources and I tried different fish, and I realized I don't feel the best with too much pork and too much chicken, because I always had this little digestive issues after it. So I document all in my journey. So I remember that I write down when I eat and what I eat, to make sure that I know, okay, what feels the best. And after this time of carnivore, I reduce my meat sources to only beef, and sometimes I include eggs or fish. And then in the World Carnivore Month in January, I stick to only beef, salt, and water. So I try the version of the lion diet, and that was the moment I feel totally the best. So
Wow.
my main sources are ribeye and ground beef, ribeye. Yeah. I love your progress too. So your journey is amazing to follow. Yeah.
Thank
And you have also great improvements and you look strong and fit. Yeah.
you.
That
Thank you. And that's not what I'm not doing any extra fitness really very much yet, but I love that you feel your best on beef.
yeah. Yeah.
And I remember seeing your I think it said you're doing 95% beef, right?
Yes. So I make sure that I get the most of my fats in my meal one, because I do intermittent fasting, but I eat breakfast and lunch, and then I skip dinner.
Hmm.
So I two meals a day, and I eat breakfast and lunch, because I need this energy over my day. and in the evening I don't need that much energy, and that's why I skip dinner, because I don't need that energy at night. So that's my
What's your time frame? I mean, do you stick to the exact same eating window every day, or does it vary for your
it's
breakfast and
it's
lunch?
very, but it's typical at 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. So
Oh,
it's a kind of short um, eating window, and then I got around 18 till 20 hours of fasting.
it's so funny that you say that because that's exactly how mine has ended up. Same
Ah,
thing, 18 to 20 hours. I skip dinner as well because I don't, yeah, like you said, I feel like I need a lot more energy toward the front of the day. And then if I eat later, it just makes me feel like weighed down.
yeah,
And my meal might be a little bit later, maybe more like 9 or 10 a.m. And then I'll maybe sometimes eat even at like as late as 3 or 4.
ah,
But
yeah,
I like that because I can't eat that much in one meal. Like I
yeah,
don't, it's hard for me to do have you ever
yeah.
tried to go to one meal a day, or you just kind of stuck to this?
Yeah, I stuck to this because I feel so good on it. And
Mhm.
for me, it's the same. I'm a very active person and I eat a lot. So it's hard for me to sit down, and I don't like this feeling of being stuffed. So I always love it when I eat and then I can go outside and run. For example.
Yeah.
So I love this lighter feeling, this light satiety, but don't feeling that I overeat. So I think I'm more the 2 meals a day person than the OMAD person.
Yeah, yeah, me too. And did you find that when you went carnivore that your appetite was different? Like when you were eating carbs and everything, did you tend to eat a lot and frequently? I mean, I know you did your fitness cycling where you do the certain set of meals, but before that, when you were just eating the German diet, did you feel like you ate a lot more and more
Yes,
frequently?
yes, more frequently, and I always was hungry because I'm such an active person. But when you look at a satiety of carbohydrates and fat, you always see that when you ate this whole processed carbs, that you don't, that you have hunger after 2 hours. And
Right.
if you eat a fatty ribeye, you can go for a hike and then eat at least 8 hours after and feel amazing during these long time without any eating. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think that's my favorite part is the food freedom, right? Just the
yeah,
freedom of your time because you don't have to spend all this time managing what you're eating or being near food, right? You can go
yes,
from some huge long day and know that you'll have good, clear, stable energy,
yes.
So
And
yeah.
that's such a big thing, the food freedom, and don't overthinking all the meals and don't tracking or measuring anything. So I wake up, then I go outside with my dog for a long walk, and I do my morning routine, and after it I sit down slowly, I prepare my meal, and it's kind of really nice morning ritual for me to sit down and watch some great YouTube videos and enjoy my meat, and I don't think about how much I eat, or I don't have to measure anything. And that's such a big thing, that I am free from this whole thinking of how many meat I could eat or how many I should prepare. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I love your pictures. I always see your pictures are so beautiful. And I always think, I want to be eating that too. When I hear say
Thank you. So sometimes when I post it after I eat it, I am always hungry because I see it again.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
know,
I
that's the only
think,
downside is, like because it's always so delicious, right?
yeah.
But, I'm really hopeful that once the world opens back up again, that we can do some kind of, like, a world carnivore convention where we can
Oh, that
eventually meet in person one day,
yeah, that would really nice. Yeah. So I want to go there, because it's like a dream to be in America someday.
oh,
To Yeah. So I hope we can meet in person.
Well, you can stay here because I have another
Yeah.
place to stay. So you have a place I'm in San Jose, California. So
Oh,
if you want to come to California, you have an open invitation. So
yeah, that would be amazing.
and there's a lot of beautiful nature in California. I'm sure
Yeah,
you have it, obviously, Germany
yeah,
has beautiful, I
but
mean,
it's
Alps, you
different.
have the Alps, right? So but
And then we can cook pretty kind of great ribeyes together.
yeah. Yeah, you can come get we buy it at our store called Costco. So the giant
Yeah.
one, we can eat
Oh,
it.
it's amazing. So
It's so fatty and marbled and delicious.
amazing. Thank you.
So, well, thank you, Laura. Thank you so much for your time and for sharing your story with us. This has been absolutely brilliant. And you're beautiful and you're in perfect health and you have your whole life ahead of you. I just hope that more people, especially in their 20s, I mean, usually people come to carnivore when they're in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. So I really look forward to, your future of sharing this way of eating, and we've been looking for more people who are in their 20s who can be leaders, right? Because it's like you're young, you're beautiful, you're a great role model, just like Bella, right? We need more people who, younger people look to see that this is the optimal way of eating for health. So
Yeah, it was an honor to be here. I had so much fun with you, and thank you for inviting me. I feel very blessed to share my story here, and yeah, thanks for the awesome talk.
thank you, Laura. And we will definitely invite you back in the future. So take good
Great.
care.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.